How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video. And today we finally have some good news regarding the Supra. The best news I've heard, honestly, in probably 6 months. Before anyone asks, yes, I clearly still have the Supra, and I've been wanting to work on it, but I'll give you guys a quick rundown in case you didn't watch the last video. I almost got scammed. Like, a lot of people were saying I definitely did get scammed, and I almost started to believe them up until yesterday. If you want the full story, go watch the video. I'll link it or put a little card on screen or something. But long story short, I sent about $5,000 to Australia to an acquaintance, and I didn't receive jack shit. I didn't receive really any updates. I didn't receive any parts. And up until yesterday, I had very little communication with him. I think the last time I talked to him was like late November, maybe early December. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna message him one more time. This is my last chance to message him. Anyways, luckily, by the grace of God himself, he replied. And we're getting all of the parts that he claims that he has for me, which includes the engine harness, the headlights, all of the engine bay trim, a lot of the harnesses and hoses that just go underneath the hood. He is going to send finally my way. I bought a Veil side intake manifold off of him. So finally, once all that stuff arrives, we can put the motor back in this thing because we'll have everything we need, just about everything. He's sending like the largest bulk of it for sure. I've actually been holding back on ordering like fuel stuff and catch can stuff and just a lot of the extra stuff that you need to do because I don't have like an intake manifold and I don't have the engine in the car and I can't mock up stuff and get parts ordered. But finally that stuff is coming. So today we're gonna start working on this thing. I have a new boost of motivation to finally work on this thing. So let me show you what we got going on today. If we pop the hatch on the ZR1, we got a box and a bag. What's in the box? Well, that's a little bit of a surprise for you right there. It says HKS. Ta-da! Wait, those aren't HKS. This is actually the factory suspension that came with the car when I bought it. And we need to put it back on. Let me explain. Essentially, the HKS coilovers melted, so I need to pull them off and either send them back to HKS to have them rebuild them or replace them, or I just need to order new coilovers. Either way, the car is kind of leaning right now. I really adjusted this side to make sure that I could push the car in and out. But throwing in just the factory suspension will just make it a lot easier. It'll also just give me an opportunity to inspect the rest of the suspension and make a list of stuff I need to order. So that's one thing we got to do today. Number two, what's in here? Turbo cans. So we are going to finally paint the rest of the engine bay, which means we have to clean, sand, prime a little bit more, and strip away the body parts so we can paint all of this a matte black. That way, when the engine is in there, everything's polished up, everything looks juicy. It's gonna pop so much more. Matte black is just a simple option, and if I continue to keep wrapping the vehicle, it'll match. I could paint it white. I have painted it OEM Toyota white before. That's what it used to be. But when I would pop the hood, you would see a white engine bay with like red wrap and stuff, or blue wrap, whatever color it was. And it just didn't look all that good. So I got a lot of primer stuff, a lot of painting stuff, and we're gonna go ahead and tackle that as well. Hopefully we could do both kind of at the same time. While one coat's curing, we can work on the suspension and vice versa. But either way, that's the objective for today. We don't have too much daylight left, so let's get started. All right, first things first, we gotta get this thing in the air. All right, safely in the air. This is also the part where I put on these white painter's gloves that I found. Let's see how dirty they get by the end of this. Don't think the wheels are gonna be going back on today, but we will see. So really quickly, the way I plan on attacking this build or rebuild is essentially itemize everything. Go by certain components and certain systems. So we'll do the braking system, then the suspension, then the engine, then the electric, then that. And so that's the plan. So I'm gonna identify what I need to replace for the suspension today and the braking. So I'm gonna try to pull off the front braking and a lot of the suspension components and identify what I need to buy. I can already see I need a front sway bar bushing, at least 2 of them. I don't know if that's included in my buddy's care package, so we'll have to see. I also know obviously I'm gonna need 2 rotors and probably 2 brake calipers. So what makes the most sense to me, because I have to pull the brake lines anyways, is I'm gonna pull all of this off before I even start painting. We might not be able to paint today, but we're gonna just do it day by day, and I'm just gonna keep posting updates. But let's start pulling off. Also, what I'm doing before I remove anything, I already did it, but I'm taking detailed videos of how everything is supposed to go back together. This way, if in the case that this stays disassembled for a lengthy amount of time, I know what I need to do to put it back together. So let's go ahead and get started. Wheel bearings actually feel pretty good. Depending on how this caliper looks, it might be fine. It might just need a rebuild, but better than a replacement, that's for sure. Not bad, doesn't look horrible. Seals still look rubber. I think this one's good. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. Okay, so to remove the front suspension, at least this front coilover, it looks like a 19 millimeter, and then I'm sure a bunch of little 13s up here, or 14s, let's see. They are 14s. All right, I just took off the upper A-arm. This also allows me to check all of the bushings and linkage. And honestly, it's really good. Like, it's all still sealed. It's not crispy or anything. It's dirty, but I don't think I'm gonna have to replace any bushings or joints or even the bearing on this side. So that's really good. It's just brake lines. So that's a win. I'm gonna leave it out for now so we can paint it, but let me do the other side and then we can start painting. Let me show you guys something real quick. Here's the passenger side. The spring is shrunken. So essentially, you know when a clapped Honda or a clapped Lexus is slammed on the floor and they say that they just heated their springs? Essentially, my car did that by itself. So that side got super hot and just melted that spring essentially. And I mean, you can tell that that side did get hotter just by, look at this. Look at the wheel well in here. Yeah, it's a little gross, but you know, it doesn't look all that bad. It's dirt and maybe some leftover, some surface rust from when the firemen went and torched that shit and sprayed it down with their chemicals. The other side, much, much worse. Much, 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 much worse. So you see that? It's all still surface rust. Like, it's all just on the surface. Essentially, I have to get in there with a wire brush and clean it all off, spray it down, and seal it so that way it never comes back. But it is just surface rust. It's not eating it away or anything like that. But yeah, so now the suspension components are all taken apart. This side literally looks fine. All of the bushings, upper and lower control arms look good. This side, different story. Doesn't look horrible, but yeah, I mean, they should be replaced. So bushings in the A-arms don't look the best. I bet it's a similar story maybe for the lower A-arm, but maybe not. For sure though, the upper one, this needs to be pressed out and replaced. So maybe there's like a poly kit that I could get and that'll just fix that up real easy. But the rest of it doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. This is gross though. This is all just boiled over paint. That's so gross. Ugh. Anyways, what I think the plan is now is to take off the body pieces and then we can start sanding. What I think ultimately I'm gonna do, which might take a little bit longer, but it makes more sense, is while I am sanding it, I'm going to sand the inside wheel wells and spray that too. Might as well, we're already here, we're already gonna get dirty. And if I do it after, then all of that I sand is just gonna end up in the engine bay on the fresh paint. So gotta do it all now. So this is gonna be one hell of a day. Not looking forward to it, but let's remove these panels. Funny enough, I think the plastic clips that are holding this on are from Temu. And they seem pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Like they're definitely holding it on. So got one, two. So yeah, I don't think the bumper is gonna fit inside. This will be the only thing that might have to go in the house, but I don't have the interior in the Supra, so this should go in pretty easily. Good thing I'm wrapping it. One in. All right, now I can go ahead and start prepping. I need to pull the brake lines, and then yeah, we could start painting again. Fun. So just because I don't want my camera to get caked with rusty dust, I'm going to move you guys inside and I'm going to tackle this thing. Shouldn't take me too long with the right tools. So let me just go to town on it and I'll check back with you guys in like, I don't know, give me like 20 minutes. How about that? Okay, so here's a massive update. Went ahead and re-primered everything. I hit it with a Brillo pad, whole thing. Went ahead, now it's like the second or third coat of it. So you can see all in there is all nice and primered out. All up here, it's still wet, you can still see it. But we got two more coats up here. And I also hit all of the little surface rust spots with the Brillo pad just to get them off before I sprayed over them. But same within here. This is all nice and restored. So all of that cracking, that's like the rubberized like liner. I didn't remove all of it because I still want, you know, it. I'm gonna have to probably spray under here with like bed liner or something. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but you could still see remnants of it in there. I couldn't get the angle grinder in there, but yeah, no more rust. So looks great. Not super exciting, but you know what they say. If nothing changes every day, then nothing changes. So any improvement is good improvement. But yeah, we're gonna let this cure, and then we're gonna hit it with the turbo fan can and get this all looking nice and uniform. The only thing that kind of sucks is I don't think I can cover it tonight because I want the paint to cure. So I think I'm gonna have to just leave it out and just let it soak up whatever it's gonna soak up. It has been dry lately, but still, I wish I did this a little earlier. All right, so I'm about to spray the paint. I'm just making sure that none of this is still wet. None of it is. I'm in a well-ventilated area, but I'm still gonna wear the mask. But yeah, let's do our first coat. Let's see how this goes. I am actually gonna hit this one spot with primer, just one more, because since I had that piece holding on the coilover, this didn't get sprayed before, so I wanna make sure this has at least two coats as well. So we'll do everything, we'll do that side first, I guess. Let's just cover that side. Now, I've never used a oh my God. I don't know if a turbo can was the right idea. So this is the turbo can nozzle. It's gonna get a lot of coverage, but I've never used one of these before. So let's try it. I'm gonna try firewall first. Oh my God. Oh, turbo cans are fucking nice. Okay, I want to do this last because I'm leaning over it. Now we just need this to tack up. So it's not going to be a full coat. Oh my God. Dude, this is so satisfying. Dude, this is so satisfying. That looks good. I mean, for a first coat, again, you don't want full coverage. You just want it to be enough to where the paint can tack up and stick to your primer. So, yeah, this is good. I like this. This is a nice can. All right, I'm gonna start on the other side firewall. Dude, this can is fucking sick. I'm just like planning it in my head on how I want it to cover, so that way I don't have to lean up against it. That looks good. Like I said, we're not going to touch this just yet. So we could do over here, I think. Probably do down there, like the radiator support. The only thing I'm noticing, which makes sense, is like a lot of paint comes out. So I bet it's probably really easy to get like a run. I bet it's super easy. I'm gonna do in here. I might need another can though. Luckily these things are cheap. I see why people do like full cars with this shit. Yeah, it's totally doable. All right, so that's coat one. Obviously it looks pretty rough. I'll show you guys after I get a couple coats on this thing just how it looks. All right, so this is 2 coats in and it looks really good. Like, it's obviously darker out now, but it is smooth looking. Look at that. I hope it captures it. It looks really smooth. I'm gonna hit it with one more coat, just really quickly, and then I'm just gonna let it cure overnight, and the engine should be painted, or the engine bay should be complete after that. And then we just gotta wait for the parts. I'm gonna order up a huge order of parts from Rock Auto. I'm gonna get a control arm, bushing. Hopefully I can find a brake master, brake calipers, rotors. I'm gonna order up a bunch of shit and get all that going, so that way the braking system will be done and the suspension will be done. So let's go ahead and get this sprayed one more time. Well, well, well. Look who it is. Look who it is. Make myself useful. The people want to know, when are you going to whipple this thing? Huh? When are you going to whipple it? When's the next mod coming? I want to pro charge it. You want to pro charge it? Okay, okay. You got money for that? Yeah. Okay, damn. She looks clean. Shout out to Luis. We got the recall taken care of yesterday, and a worker there, Luis, he went ahead and gave it a fresh wash. So shout out to him for that. Anyways, let's continue. Mammy, give me a helping hand. Look at the engine bay. What do you think?
Why did you do it black?
Because that way it'll match like whatever I wrap. Eric did his Honda black back in the day, and he's like, yeah, it looks good. So if I wrap it like orange, pink, red, blue, yellow, the black will just pop. And then when the engine's in here and everything is polished, it's gonna pop. So, you excited to drive this car again?
I drove it like once.
You've driven it more than once. Third and final coat. It's like 3.5-ish on this thing, and it looks good. It looks like we got good coverage. I checked most of the nooks and crannies. I do have a separate can for 2 things. One, touch-ups in the future. You know, if someone drops a wrench in here, either me or Brian or whoever. And 2, if I missed a spot, I can go ahead and spray it over. But I think the areas that are visible, mainly like the frame rails and these tubs right here, I think all that looks good. We are gonna get the gold Funk Motorsport shielding back there. I'm gonna actually hit them up and tell them, send that shit over. But yeah, for the most part, she looks great. She looks good. We got good coverage, good primer, good progress on day 1 of officially starting the rebuild. Now I am gonna shower, so I'm gonna check on it in like 30 minutes when I'm done showering, changing, getting dressed and everything. So let it cure. I'll show you guys how it looks in 30 minutes and then we'll just wrap up this video. But good progress for day 1. I'm really happy, and we can start ordering what we know we need. All right, we're gonna celebrate the Supra slowly coming back by going and getting pizza. I'm gonna have her pull it out so I could tuck the bumper inside. So we'll get a cold start right here, and then I'll show you guys just how that looks. Go ahead, turn her on. Yeah, it's a neutral. You gotta put in the clutch, remember? She's used to driving autos. Shake my head. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, back it up. God damn. She looks like an OnlyFans creator. It's a compliment. Anyways, not really. Sort of a compliment, like a backhanded compliment. You gotta pull up the parking brake, Mar. We're struggling. Anyways, check it out. Looks really good. Nice and even. Hopefully the camera does it justice. I mean, it looks super smooth. So the good news is now we will be able to put the body panels on, and they will be able to stay on for the most part, at least like the fenders and stuff. The bumper might stay off, but the fenders can get actually bolted on because everything else we can do with them on. But yeah, it looks really good. I'm gonna order up a huge supply drop of parts, and then we'll just start wrenching on this thing, just like the good old days, guys. Anyways, hopefully you guys, I don't like holding this, but I'm too lazy to clip it on my shirt. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Not super high action packed by any means, but a lot of people have been asking where the Supra's been, and I really want to get it back on the road ASAP. I'm shooting for on the road by summer. That's my goal. I think we can do it. I think we can do it easily if everything goes smoothly. We're also going to be dropping merch here really soon. Supra inspired merch, Corvette inspired merch, and Mustang inspired merch, all made in-house, so or locally at least, not like overseas. So with that, that should speed up the process as well. If you guys obviously want to support the builds, buy some merch. The Teespring stuff will be closing down, so if you want one of those designs, those will not be returning. Anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Subscribe, and until next video, peace.